Thanks to modern technology, we live in a time when information is at our fingertips in seconds, and yet historical ignorance is rampant. History is messy and ugly, but there is no excuse for not doing one's due diligence when it comes to Christian history. Most Protestants are so disconnected from historical Christianity that they don't even know the roots of their own movements. When I was a Protestant, I had no idea how the Bible was even compiled. I assumed it magically fell from the sky. Just kidding. When confronted with reality in the pages of history, one must do one of two things: see the truth for what it is, or rewrite history to suit one's preconceived ideas. So what is true? The Bible? The church? History? What if it is all of the above? Every October 31st, Protestants around the world celebrate Martin Luther's protest against the Catholic Church, without realizing that they'd probably excommunicate him from their own congregations if they knew his actual beliefs. Things like baptism saves, consubstantiation, or how about God hates the Jews? My point is, no matter your walk of life, you've been influenced to believe a certain way. Are you even American if you didn't grow up hating the Catholic Church? I mean, that's basically the foundation this country was built upon. Whether you're a Baptist, Presbyterian, Anglican, Methodist, Pentecostal, non-denominational, or so on, your heritage is one of protest. And whether you believe it or not, you don't actually adhere to Scripture alone. You see, when someone tells you what the Scripture means, you're given a lens with which to read the Bible. The lens we've all been given is that the only thing that matters is a personal relationship with Jesus. But that is not the culture of those who gave us the freedom to have such opinions. The fathers of the Reformation themselves thought that issues of doctrine were matters of life and death, not just spiritually, but literally. If you were a Baptist, good luck with your personal relationship with Jesus. And don't forget Servetus, who learned the hard way that if you play with theological fire, sometimes you actually get burned. No matter how ugly history is, if you want to know what's true, you can't whitewash facts. You must face it head on, for better or for worse, even if it means coming face to face with the dark side of your own traditions. And yes, we all have ugly, messy history, no matter what theological tradition you find yourself in. Thankfully, we are blessed to live in a time of peace, without fear of the pangs of death for differences of opinion. But we've all been deceived into believing that theological errors have no bearing on the state of our souls. While you may not be burned at the stake for your theology, you are not as safe as you think. I know that being alone with the Bible and Jesus sounds nice, but that is not enough. All the things we've been told are secondary, non-salvific issues are in fact not secondary, and they do play a part in our salvation. Baptism matters. The sacraments matter. The visible church matters. The so-called reform that the reformers introduced were not in fact bringing us back to the early church, but rather invented an entirely new religion altogether. But don't take my word for it. At the tip of your fingers lies the writings of the early church, history, the writings of the reformers, and everything in between. Take advantage of the time and place you have been born into. Study your own heritage, confront reality, and come home.